and gentlemen,
this is 3 Count Review.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
Welcome everyone to 3 Count Review. I am KO, aka Howard J. Dingers, and this is the SummerSlam review. SummerSlam was really good. I would even go as far to say that SummerSlam was actually better than NXT TakeOver Toronto, and I think that has to be one of the very first times that I could say that a WWE pay-per-view on Sunday was better than the night before TakeOver. It was incredible. I had so much fun watching it. There were a few things I had a problem with, but the last 2 matches in particular just blew me away, and I had a lot of fun watching this pay-per-view. So we start on the pre-show. The WWE Cruiserweight Championship is on the line as Drew Gulak defends against Oney Lorcan, and this was a fun match. Nothing like any other Cruiserweight match. It wasn't as high-flying and as high-hitting, but it was still a decently worked match. Drew Gulak won, and he retains his championship. Next, we had Buddy Murphy taking on Apollo Crews, and this match was only to further a storyline, as towards the end of the match, Rowan came in and attacked Buddy Murphy, as you can hear someone in the crowd say, "Snitches get stitches." And I guess that's what Buddy gets. So we'll see where this storyline continues to. Then we had an Elias segment on the pre-show still, and he was singing, doing his thing, crapping on Toronto, when all of a sudden, Edge's music hit, and Edge comes out, and he's looking cool, doesn't grab a microphone, and all of a sudden, he charges at Elias and hits Elias with a spear. Yes, Edge in 2019 hit a spear. The first time we've seen a wrestling move from Edge in 8 years, and that has to be a good sign. They had to have cleared him for that, so that's awesome. Great to see Edge in the ring. Great to see a spear. Just a great moment. Too bad it was on the pre-show. Then we had the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defending against the Iconics. And this was good. Alexa Bliss was cosplaying as Buzz Lightyear, and I guess their faces in this match. I don't know. But they won as the same spot as they won the titles with. They won. Alexa Bliss hit an elbow and then Twisted Bliss, and they retained. Nothing special about this match. The main card kicks off with Becky Lynch versus Natalya in a submission match for the Raw Women's Championship, and this was a great opening match. I had to go back and watch this because my network cut out, but this was a great way to start the show. This was hard-hitting. They used each other's submission moves at one point in the match. Natalya had a great sharpshooter in the ropes, like on the turnbuckle. It looked awesome. And this was just a really good, well-paced match to start off the show. Becky Lynch eventually won with the Disarmer to retain her Raw Women's Championship. Next, we had Goldberg making his return to take on Dolph Ziggler. This match started off with a super kick from Dolph. Goldberg kicked out at 1. Another super kick by Dolph. Goldberg kicked out at 1. A spear from Goldberg. A jackhammer. 1, 2, 3, that was it. Awesome match. It went about 1:50. That first spear looked incredible, and that is the reason that I was excited for that match. It looked awesome. Goldberg started leaving, and Dolph got on the mic and said, "You can't keep me down. I'll always be standing." It was basically, if you've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, it was, "'Tis but a flesh wound." So Goldberg came back in the ring, speared Dolph again, and he left. He went to the back this time. But Dolph said the same thing. Goldberg's music hit, and he came out, and he picked him up, patted him on the back. It looked like he was just going to walk out. But then he bounced off the ropes and, boom, hit him with an even bigger spear. And that's when Goldberg left. This was a really funny segment. It wasn't funny the second time, but when they did it a third time, it became funny again. This was awesome. Next, the United States Championship is on the line as AJ Styles defends against Ricochet. This was an awesome match. These two are phenomenal. Pun intended. This match ended when Ricochet went for some flip-de-doo move off the top rope, but AJ caught him by the legs and hit a Styles Clash. It was just an amazing spot. I urge you to go find that spot. It was really cool, very well executed, a hard spot to do, but they did it right. It was awesome. AJ Styles retains against Ricochet. I do want to point out also there was one cool spot in the match where Ricochet did a stepping stones on Gallows and Anderson, stepped on one shoulder, then stepped on the other, then did a Hurricane Rana to AJ. Great stuff by Ricochet. AJ was working his leg throughout the match. Ricochet was doing all of his high-risk offense one-legged, like a one-legged springboard, one-legged shooting star press. Great stuff by Ricochet. Next, we had Bayley defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Ember Moon. and this was a one-sided match. It was sloppy, it was slow. I was not a huge fan of this. Ember never really got going, and Bayley hit a Bayley to belly off the top rope while Ember was going for the Eclipse. Bayley retains. Not too much else to say about this. Then we had Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. Shane comes out and he says, I have a special guest ring enforcer. So Elias comes out in the ref uniform, and he's not the referee, but he's the enforcer on the outside of the ring. This was good. If Owens loses, he quits. But this was just really fun. It was just them trying to get Owens to DQ himself, Elias screwing him at every possible turn. But this was Owens getting the majority of the match, working over Shane the whole time. Shane really never got going at all, and that's what needed to happen for this. And it was a very fun match. Eventually, Owens took out Elias and the other ref, and then he was gonna hit Shane with a chair, and the ref said no, and Owens was like, yeah, you're right, and he gave the chair back. But while the ref was taking care of the chair, he low-blowed Shane, hit him with the stunner. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens wins. This match is exactly what it needed to be. It was very entertaining. Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus next. I always have a hard time saying that name. But this was a really good match. Trish looked really good. She put on a very good match against Charlotte. Charlotte looked very good. There was a couple great spots. Trish putting in the figure 8 on Charlotte looked very impressive. Trish hit the Stratusfaction and the chick kick, but Charlotte kicking out of both of those in succession. And eventually Charlotte putting her in the figure 8 for the win. This was a good match. It did go a little long if I had to nitpick, but other than that, I thought this was a really good match. Then we had the WWE Championship match, Kofi Kingston defending against Randy Orton, and this was the wrong type of match. This match was slow. It was too methodical. It's not what we were looking for out of Kofi and Randy, and it just did not work. The crowd weren't into it, and it did not help that the ending was not good. So Randy had hit a RKO out of nowhere when Kofi jumped off the top rope, and Kofi rolled out to the floor. So then Randy was just kind of toying with Kofi out on the floor while his kids were sitting right next to him at ringside there. And Orton was just kind of like trading stares with one of Kofi's kids. Without them showing the referee or even listening to the referee counting, the referee just kind of called for the bell, and I guess it was a double count out. And then Kofi started beating up on Randy with a kendo stick. This was a bad match. They did not allude to the 10 count. It came very out of nowhere. The crowd turned on it very quickly with Bull S-word chants, and it was just, it wasn't good. I know that they're going to continue to feud, and I'm okay with that, but there are other ways to do that than doing something like this. Next, we had, in my opinion, the best part of the show. I might talk about this for a small bit of time. Finn Balor against the debuting Fiend. This was incredible. If you have not seen this entrance, and don't go look at the YouTube entrance because it's highly edited and it's like 2 minutes shorter than it actually is. Go watch it on the network if you can. Go get your free month just to watch this entrance in this match because it is worth it. A remixed song, a lantern head, the lighting, the cameras, everything was just incredible. And the moveset is great. They did a neck snap that could be protected in the future if you wanted to. That could be a huge move that they could pull off. Finn going for the coup de grace and getting caught in the mandible claw, passing out and getting pinned while he's passed out was awesome. And then he left. The Fiend is just incredible. I've watched this match, I think, about 10 times already, and it's Tuesday. I absolutely love this match, and I can't wait for more Fiend stuff. I really can't. Then the main event, we see Brock Lesnar defending his Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. And this was just an awesome match. I can't believe it, but I really got into this match. So, little backstory. We do predictions for our championship within our club, and I was perfect up until this match. And while we were doing predictions, I picked Seth only because the guy I was competing with had Brock. So I just went opposite him, and it very much paid off. Seth Rollins winning the title off of what ended up being 3 curb stomps and a valiant effort, 2 5-star frog splashes, one of them being through a table. Seth, I think, took 7 suplexes and at least 1 F5. and everything was so well paced, and there were very good reversals at spots you didn't think there were going to be reversals, and finishers out of nowhere. This match was so fast paced, it was so fun, and Seth Rollins leaves with the Universal Championship. But more importantly, Brock Lesnar doesn't leave with the Universal Championship. And in my book, I'm okay with that. I hope he moves on to big marquee matches at pay-per-views. But yeah, like I mentioned, I will give myself a little pat on the back. I changed a few picks going into the pay-per-view, and I'll put it up right here. My predictions were perfect on Sunday, so that was awesome. I've been waiting to do that for a few years now. But yeah, SummerSlam was awesome. It was a really fun show, I think. Possibly the best pay-per-view of 2019 so far. It was just really fun. And The Fiend, possibly one of my favorite debuts ever. This was incredible. At least one of my favorite debuts that I've seen live for sure. And it was just awesome. I can't say enough about how cool it was. So yeah, that was SummerSlam. Thank you for watching the 3-count review. Let me know what you thought of SummerSlam down in the comments below. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on 3-count review.
When I'm strong, I'm nearly one. I might be too on. Wishing inside I could feel so numb. Oh, now that you're gone away, you feel it in the night. You want what's underneath. It's alright, no more lies, can't deny.